We're excited to be here today with Placida Acheru. Oh, did I do that right, Placida?
Yeah,
Did
you
I?
did. You did.
And we are here from Texas and from London. And to me, that is just absolutely incredible. I love social media for that. I've enjoyed Blab. There's people that I watch from the Australia all the time, and I love getting to know more about them. Super connectors, and on Periscope too, people that I follow that are from all over the world. And so I am so excited that we were able to connect. I think it's incredible. And I want to introduce you just a little bit to Placida. She is going to teach us how to position and dominate the marketplace. She is a brand strategist, and not just any marketing strategist. She is a dynamic marketing strategist. And
Yeah.
you're going to
The
love.
no nonsense one. It's like I don't take any nonsense either. When I'm doing my marketing, it's like
We're down to business and let's get this done, right?
yeah.
So tell us a little bit about you and how you got into this space. I know you're on Periscope, found you on LinkedIn, found you on Twitter. How did you find yourself into this marketing strategist place? What draws you to this part of the market? You could choose anything. You could be anything. What brings you to this place?
Curiosity, basically, and I'll start from the beginning. So a few years back, so about 9 years ago, almost 10 years ago, I didn't know how to use the computer
Ah,
or the internet.
yeah.
Yeah, that was how good I was. So I was learning everything from scratch. I had come into the UK to chill out, find myself, and then I found coaching, discovered coaching. Got excited about coaching because it was just me. Coaching
Mhm.
was just talking about Placida. This is who I've always been.
Uh-huh.
And when you train as a coach, the next thing is how to get yourself out there so that clients can find you.
Yes.
And we had assignments in the coaching school to do coaching practice, and you have to find clients and practice with your coaching, your new clients, and then do your notes and submit it to the school. So I started then. I was, how do I find clients? One, I'm new in the UK. I don't know anyone except my sister who doesn't understand what I'm talking about, you know,
Right.
because
Right.
coaching was kind of new. And when you say, oh, I'm training to be a coach, the first thing you hear is, what's that? What's coaching? you know?
Yes.
And so my sister didn't understand what I was doing. I had just packed up everything back home to come and start this new life in the UK. Friends thought I'd gone nuts. I'd lost my mind to be doing that. But I found me. I found where I want to be. I found where I want to retire, if I would ever retire, because when you're a natural coach, you never retire. It's
Right.
part of your life.
Right.
So I found it and I wanted to grow it. I wanted to reach out to more people. I wanted to be more than I've always been. So how do I find clients? And then I heard about this website called Gumtree,
Mm-hmm.
where you can list your rooms. And I went on Gumtree and I put a notice there. I'm practicing as a coach, and we need to have this number of coaching clients. And so I'm looking for coaching clients. My grammar was really, really bad. My sentences I didn't make any sense anyway, but I got my first paying client from Gumtree.
Oh my gosh, really? That's
I'm telling
incredible.
you, and I'll tell you how much he paid me. So this was me who was new, who just started out. And so I did my first practice sessions with her, which was free. And then after the 6 sessions, she said, you know what, I would like you to keep coaching me.
Ah,
And so how much is it going to be? So the first figure that came into my mind, I said to her, I said, it's going to be £50 per hour. That was the first figure that came into my mind. And she said, okay,
yeah.
fine, I'll do that. I'll pay you £50 per hour. And I was like, oh my God, this is really cool. You can make money from coaching, £50 per hour, goodness. And because £6 per hour in the UK at the time was fantastic if you got that. And somebody was willing to
Wow.
pay me £50 per hour. So I was very excited. And we did our sessions, and then that encouraged me to get some more clients. And I just went on with the £50 per hour. That was how I started. My fee was £50. That's how, as a
Wow.
fresh, brand new coach, that's how I started. But then I did that online, and I went onto a networking meeting. I heard about Anthony Robbins events, Christopher Howard. There's lots of events in the UK at the time. So I signed up for these events and attended them. And my mind just went, woo. It's like all these things happening. Where have I been? I was like a child in Disneyland. When you go to Disneyland for the first time, you're like, oh my God, all these things. I can see the characters.
Right.
And that's exactly how I felt when I came and I went to those events, and I wanted to be like those men. Yeah. So I sat down there and I said, I want to do what you're doing. I want to do what they're doing. I'm sure I can do what they're doing. I've got so much in me and I want to do it. And then I started connecting with people at the event. So my network began to grow while connecting with attendees at the event. And then one person at the event said to me, are you on Facebook? And I said, oh, I've heard about Facebook, but it's for kids. It's for young people, not for me. I'm not older than that Facebook thing. I said, no, you can use it for business. And I said, really? He said, yes, you can. So went back home that day, told my sister, because I was sharing a room with her at the time, and I said, do you know what? I want to get on this Facebook thing. So I got on Facebook, and I was amazed at the people who were on Facebook. Yeah. Because I wanted to do business. I found business people. So I started to search for people who were doing business, who were coaches, because coaching is what I knew. I didn't know anything else than coaching. So I'll look for anyone who had a profile that said coaching, and I'll request them as friend. And I started to build my network. And my first 1,000 people were strategically selected on Facebook.
Oh, so smart.
And that's because I wanted to position myself. I wanted to be Anthony Robbins and Christopher Howard. And these guys travel around the world and they're speaking. So if I wanted to travel around the world, then I need to connect with people around the world. So I found people in Australia and I connected with them. I found people in America and I connected with them. So I kind of said, I have 200 people London, 200 people America. So I kind of split it, and I started to request friendship with them. Facebook at the time was a bit lenient. You can just say request as friend. But now they stop you. But then they were just very lenient. And so I was requesting as friend, and some people would say, oh, do I know you? And I said, oh, no, you don't know me, but I just found your profile. I like your profile. I like what you're about, and I would like to connect with you. And so when you send that kind of message to someone, they will say, oh, okay, I'll connect with you. And then they're connected with me. And what Facebook does is when you connect with someone, they start to show you other people who are connected to them. I say, you may know this person, you may know that person. And so I took my time. When they show me, you may know this person, I'll look at the profiles and see if the profiles are of interest to me. Hi, Sean. The profiles of interest to me, and I'll request as friend. And I began to grow my network and started to share posts. I wasn't very regular, but I tried to be as regular as possible, post events. Then I did more and more events to get myself there, to expand my network. So I was expanding my online network and my physical network.
I think that it's super smart that you realized early the potential for social media. For someone who just became introduced into that world, and then you heard that you could use Facebook as a way to make business connections. Because I remember the first Facebook connection that I got, and I was just like you. I thought, why do I need to go up there? That's crazy. And it was, it's for kids in college, and it's kids. And I think, wow, I'd have 7 bazillion contacts if I'd gone on there when that first girlfriend invited me all those years. So when people talk about getting on Blab or Periscope or any of the new ones, Meerkat, whatever they're on, and the question is it going to be worth it? I always, in the back of my head, is that piece of my brain that says, remember when you didn't receive that Facebook request information? So it's at least worth a shot for me to give it a try. It's at least worth a try. So, Placida, you have worked this journey. You're coaching. You used um, Gumroad in a way that, honestly, I've been in the coaching space a long time and had not heard of anyone using Gumroad as an opportunity to get coaching clients. How clever! How clever! And that's just proof that we can always learn something new if we have our ears and our heart open for
Totally.
that. And you talk about uh, Facebook for Business, and you've talked to us about how you made those connections, but how have you used those connections? Of course, now there's the options for business pages and advertising and all of that wasn't there when you first started in Facebook. How you use Facebook for Business now? How do you use that, and how do you maximize your opportunity on Facebook?
Okay, so I need to share this, and this is the honest truth. When I first got started, and I said my first paying client was £50, that was really big money for me. But I was also studying at the time, so I had to pay school fees. So
Okay.
the money I made was used to pay school fees, so I didn't have any money to invest in my business. But I needed to grow my business. I needed to position myself as someone who has experience to deliver. I may not have all the record, but I'm knowledgeable. I've got years of administrative experience. I've got a master's degree in guidance and counseling. And here I am training as a coach. So I do have experience, even though no one knows me. So I need people to know me, and I need people to know that I've got quality inside of me. And so I was thinking, how do I do it? So remember I said I was connecting with specific people depending on location. And these were people who I was seeing on Facebook that were doing really good things. So the big names, basically. I read the profile and the profile sounded good. Looked at the photographs, pictures, if you're listening, photographs speak a lot more than the written words. So when somebody's profile is, pictures are really good, it's the incentive for me to click on that profile and then read what's going on. So the picture first is what attracts me. So after I got all these connections and I was thinking, okay, what do I do? What do I do? I need them to know who I am. I need them to know that I know stuff and I can deliver. I'm a coach. My first thing to do was to begin to host tele-summits.
Okay.
So I sent an invitation out. I remember I came from an administrative background, so I know how to kind of present myself well. Even though at the time my grammar was not even that fantastic, it's so much better now because the way I used to speak in Nigeria is different from the way the English speak. And I was being told at the time that I was still speaking Old English. So when I came, people say, "Oh, so you're still speaking Old English, you're still writing Old English." I was like, okay, I need to improve on this. So anyway, I started to invite people and I started blog talk radio, which is for interviews. And I will write to these experts and I'll say, I've got a radio show and I would love to interview you. So experts want to know what your network size is. They want to know how big your connection is.
Right.
10 years ago, if you told someone that you've got a database of even 2,000, they will want to connect with you. 2,000 is it's not that big now, but then they will want to connect with you. So my Facebook profile had grown. And when they check me out on Facebook, they can see I'm connected to all these experts, which means that she must be someone important. Even though I'm just starting out, so she must be somebody important. So they say yes to me because people will check you out. They'll check out your LinkedIn profile. They'll check your Facebook. They want to see some consistency in it. So I make sure I put myself on LinkedIn and everything was consistent on what I've done and who I am, And so when I invite people, they always do check you out. They check you out.
I did. When we connected, I was like checking out your Facebook and checking out your LinkedIn. I'm sure you did the same thing with me. It's like, David, do I want to connect with this?
Exactly. So they check you out, and then once they check you out and they're okay, they say yes. And also, experts want to be advertised, so it's free promotion for them. So when you say to an expert, "I want to interview you," it's free. They're not paying for it. You know, as long as you're not saying to them, pay me some money, it's free publicity for them.
Yes.
So they were saying yes to me, and once one expert says yes, and I request interview for another expert, and they see I've interviewed this person, they say yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You know, I had an experience very recently. I went to, I'm not going to mention names now, but I went to this guy who is a guru, you know, he's right there up. And I said, oh, I'd love to interview you. And I was very simply dressed. So he said, oh, have you done interviews in the past? And I said, yes, I have. He said, who have you interviewed? And I said, Laura Langemeier, Lisa Nichols. And I said to call all these names of the secret. He said, okay, here is my details. Email my stuff, and I'll be on your, you know, it was that easy.
Yes.
So if you position yourself well, and if you target the experts, when you reach out to someone who is up there, you go past his secretary and you go past the gates, the gates, yes. And you just email to say, this is what I've done. You list out. So how I got to reach out to every other person was, every time I send an invitation, I will list out who I have interviewed. So when smart. They see the names, they can't say no.
And that is why you became a dynamic marketing strategist, because you found your way through all of that to the places where you have marketed yourself, but you're marketing others at the same time, is what it sounds like to me.
Exactly.
Am I on target about that? You were not afraid to go to the influencers and say, I want to connect with you. I want to be in alignment with you. And you knew that that would move you forward by doing that.
Exactly. And you see, like today, you know, for this interview today, what have I done for you is I've shared it on my Facebook profile. I've shared it on two Facebook pages. You know, I've shared it on LinkedIn, and I've shared it on Twitter, and I did a scope.
Yeah. And I was there on that scope.
And you were there on the scope. And it's all about saying, hey, guess what? I'm being interviewed. I'm promoting you, and I'm promoting myself.
Right.
And then the people who are in LinkedIn who come to this scope, who come to this blab, probably haven't met me. They may be my connection, but they haven't heard my voice. Do you have two Facebook accounts, one for personal and the other for professional? Okay, I need to answer this question.
That's a great question.
Anna is asking, do I have two Facebook profiles? I've got a business page, and I've got a personal profile. So your personal profile is what you use to join groups and what you use to make friends. And your business page is where you talk about your business and you share what you're doing. You can put a bit of your personal stuff there. Maybe, you know, you're being interviewed or you're going to an exhibition. You can put that on your Facebook business page. So you do have two, not two accounts, but two pages, two profiles, a business profile and a personal profile. With regards to separating business and personal, this is what I did. So initially, remember I'm coming from Nigeria and I'm here in the UK. So I was building fresh connection here in the UK, and I still had all my connections from Nigeria. So I created my first Facebook profile was for the UK family, the new family I'm creating here in UK. And I had some people from Nigeria who had joined me on my Facebook profile. Now, because they didn't understand, and this is the truth it's public. This is the truth. One of my friends posted his event, and someone in Nigeria who didn't quite understand what now everyone knows about affiliate marketing and selling and sales pages and all that. But at the time, a lot of people didn't know all that stuff. So this person in Nigeria went to that person's post and said 419, which is fraud. You know, which 419 in Nigeria means fraud. And I said, oh my God, this is not very good for me also, because he doesn't understand what this person is posted. The person didn't post anything that was fraudulent, but the person is way ahead in the internet marketing scene. And he doesn't understand what's going on in the internet marketing world. And so he thought that post was fraudulent to rip people off their money.
Mm.
And then I realized at that point that it was time to separate my business, my Nigerian account from my UK and professional account. And so I had to create a Facebook profile, which was with another email, which was for my Nigerian African community and for my professional community, friendship. Now, as time going on, and I'm sharing on both profiles, I've kind of merged them together now because knowledge is vast now. Everyone has access to the internet and everyone knows what is going on. So now it's all merged up. But my Facebook pages are separated. So you've got Facebook page for your business. And for Facebook page, I've got several pages for the different businesses that I have, that I run. So Unleashed Women's Network is a network I have for women in business. Unleashed Women's Network, I need to pronounce my words really well. Unleashed Women's Network, so that's for women in business. They have a page and they have a Twitter profile. So everything that I have as Placida Acheru, my brand, Unleashed Women's Network has exactly that as their brand.
Right.
Because in the future, I may decide I don't want to do Unleashed Women's Network. I might decide to sell it off to somebody else who wants to run it. And I can just pass all that to them without it affecting me. So I have my brand as Placida Acheru, and that business, Unleashed Women's Network, has their brand and all the social media platforms attached to it. Does that answer your question, Anna?
Hopefully, yes. And I think that's really great advice too, because that's not something I would think about and advice that I would think to give someone. You had a community and a cultural community that didn't really understand what you were doing over here in this other cultural community. And you had to find a way to work that together and keep things together. So that's great advice, because we can all find ourselves in that. And I love your story about your sister, because when I first started in all of this marketing stuff, and I love to tell this story, and I love my mother, she's just incredible, but she just didn't have any concept about what I did. And so she said, "How is that thing you do going?"
Exactly. My mom also says that. My mom also says, "How is that internet thing?" You know, my mom is on Facebook now, but before she got on Facebook, she would say, "So that Facebook thing, you have friends from everywhere? People just find you?" So now she's on Facebook and she's doing well on Facebook.
Because my mom turned 88 yesterday, and we got her a Kindle so she could go on Facebook. So, we'll see. So maybe she'll show up on Blab. Who even knows? So she's an incredible woman. But, it's education, and everyone is starting somewhere. I mean, there is someone who joined Facebook today, and it was their very first time on there, and they are having to learn to navigate. Someone who's just starting a network marketing business today, they're having to learn how to navigate all of that. So this is a big, big topic today, and it stays: list building and social media. So you mentioned earlier about a list of 2,000 and how that used to be incredible, but now it's not as much. But there's some people who would just like, "Oh, I'd give my arm if I had 1,000 people." So how do you compare those, and how do you work that out, Placida?
Okay, so I need to throw a question to the listeners. Is anyone listening to us or watching us now who is on social media? So let's deal with that first. Which social media platform are you using?
Yeah.
Because this is not about me telling my story. It's about helping you out, and helping you maximize what you're doing and get results. So if you're on social media, what social media platform are you using? And then we can go on to list building. Pinterest, Instagram, Google Plus, fantastic. And you're consistent, Jay? Are you regular? Yeah. Oh, good, fantastic. Okay, so which is your favorite of all of them? Because you might have one that you hang out most. Yes, so that is automating. That Twitter is my favorite. Fantastic. So people have favorites. I hang out most on Facebook, but that's where I started off from. And then I went on to LinkedIn and Twitter. And so I use all of them. I love Instagram. Instagram is, I just love the way that they respond to my posts. So if I put a post out there, it's like, I love it. I love seeing that reaction that happens on Instagram. So list building, and who is doing list building at right now? Who is consistently building their list or implementing the listing? LinkedIn as well. Fantastic. Who is building their list using social media platforms? Come on, people. We can see you. It's not like Periscope. You can't see anybody. We can actually see you. We can see you, and if you want to join into the conversation, we'll call you in to join us in, So 6K followers. Fantastic. So is that followers on social media platform or followers in your email?
And maybe that's the question that people are having, is how do you make social media? How do you convert your robust, healthy, vibrant social media contact lists into a robust, engaged email list?
Okay.
Jay doesn't want to create an email list. See, I told you this is a big discussion out there.
It is a big discussion. And you know what?
It's big.
Social media is as important as email lists. So you go networking, you meet people for the first time, that's social media. When they like you and they invite you for tea, or you invite them for tea or lunch, that's your email list, because now you're getting to know them better. So you do all the social media is where you're building the crowd. You're building that crowd. They're getting to know you. They're getting to like you. They're getting to trust you. When they put their name and email into your opt-in form on your website, they're now saying to you, we like what you're doing. We would like to know more.
Right.
Yeah. And then once they put their name and email into your list, you need to feed them now. They are like your family, your close-knit family, that you need to take good care of them, because they are the ones who go and spread the word about you. Yeah, they're the ones who go and tell their friends. They're the ones who scream out loud about what you're doing. So in social media, there are people who would, who love you and they'll share. But if they really do love you, they will go into your mailing list. They want to learn more. And that's where you give quality. Because then you can, I don't have a service to sell to people. I would have an email list. I only use, I'll talk about that now. I'll talk about that in a bit. So when you're starting out online, the whole purpose of social media tools, they're all marketing tools. And they're all tools to help you grow your business, is to drive them to your website and to a web page where you can begin to build that family, that list. Facebook can go down tomorrow. LinkedIn can disappear tomorrow. I mean, I think a few months ago, Facebook was disappeared for like a few minutes or something like that. There was like a hacking that was going on, and people panicked, and everyone was on Twitter because there was no Facebook at the time. So Facebook can disappear, Periscope can disappear, anything can happen, Blab can go away. Your mailing list, you secure them using an email marketing software like Aweber or MailChimp. The bigger you grow your business, you want to move on to your Fusionsoft and some other bigger softwares that you can use, email managing softwares that you can use. But for now, you can start off with MailChimp. MailChimp will allow you to collect 2,000 email addresses, up to 2,000 email addresses. So it's a good start, and you don't have to pay for it. And then when you hit over 2,000, so 2001, you start paying. But 2,000 is fine, it's a good start for Aweber. And you start communicating with these people. Now, Jay says, I do not have a product or service. What do you do, Jay, if I may ask?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm curious about that.
Yeah.
that you want to build authority, publish, and make connections with influencers.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably typing. So, and I'm curious too, Jay, do you have a website or are you publishing on LinkedIn?
I'm building authority ahead of a launch of a new platform. Okay, good. So even if you're building
LinkedIn and a blog. Thanks.
I publish on LinkedIn and a blog. Okay. On your blog, you can begin, and this is for everyone, you can begin to collect your emails on your blog for people who want to know more. So collecting it, you can engage with them and you can send them messages ahead. So when you're launching your product, you can say to them, hey, in 2 weeks' time, I'm working on this project. So you first tell them what you're doing. I'm working on this project. And in 2 weeks' time, it's going to be launched. I'll need your support to spread the word. So you begin building a relationship with them. I launched a magazine you must have read in my profile, I launched a magazine in June. And we had said putting out the word that we're working on this magazine, and we had 9 days to promote it, to get it out there. So we did our launch, and we put our magazine in front of 625,000. It's over 600,000 people got to know that the magazine was launched on that day.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because we said to put the words out. You put the words out that I'm doing this, and you put it on your mailing list, and you start talking to them, building the relationship. You put the word out on Facebook also, but like I said, your mailing list is a closer knit family because they trust you enough to give you their name and their email. They want to learn some more from you.
And, I'm listening, I'm seeing what Jay is saying about social media. And do you think that there has been this shift, because it used to be all about the list, and then it was nothing about the list, and now it kind of is swaying back to, oh my gosh, it's all about the list, because then you have people like, I think probably the most powerful example of that these days about things going away is Chalene Johnson's Instagram account was hacked, and all of those followers and contacts that she'd made disappeared. And she had to rebuild all of that. Now, she's a big name person. People know Chalene, and if she disappeared from Instagram or wherever she is, because I know she uses Instagram a lot, and she's been around for a long time, and she's in a lot of different spaces, fitness and marketing and Instagram for business. If she had to go through and rebuild her list, that's something, because she could go out in different places and she could say, hey, I was hacked. I've lost all your contact information. Come follow me again. But for just the average marketer out there working hard every day and building it up and collecting, if their stuff gets hacked and disappears, if all of my LinkedIn followers or all of my Twitter followers disappear, how am I going to get out there? So for me, I think in that marketing space, for me, it's always about, I want to build social media like crazy, because I agree with Jay. It's important to be out there, but I want to be able to have that connection so that if all social media goes away, I'm not out of business.
Yeah, and even when all social media goes away, if you're collecting your list, you now have the cloud where you can store your list. You've got Dropbox. So even though you have an email marketing software where your list is, if anything goes down there, you still have access to download. My lists are always downloaded. I've got them I've got them everywhere. So I cannot lose them.
Right.
I've got them. They're safe. It's like how you protect your folders. You protect it. So you have your hard drives, you protect them. And you continue to clean them the same way you clean your social media platforms. Right. So I clean my LinkedIn platforms because accounts go dormant, people change email addresses, on Facebook, accounts go dormant. So I'm always regularly cleaning my social media platforms. So the same way you also clean your list to make sure that you have, the current list of the people who are, who have committed to hearing more from you. Yes, it's true that lists, sometimes they can unsubscribe. So one is not more important than the other.
Right.
Build your list and build your social media connection. But your list is what would make you more money, because at the end of the day, we connected on Facebook, right? And you still said to me, can I have your email list? Didn't you? Yeah. Because you still need to reach out to me by email.
Right.
So email is still important. It's not,
Yes, it is.
you don't leave out one and just focus on one of them.
Right.
So they work hand in hand. You grow your mailing list and you grow your social media network. But you need that mailing list because you have products to sell. They are the ones, you start messaging them and you build a relationship with them. And at the end of the day, people will always remember you. If you're launching anything, your list.
You hope that they.
Yeah.
You hope they do.
Exactly. Hi, Marcia. I see your point about them having more trust, but you have to deliver value. Of course, you have to deliver value, both on social media and both on your mailing list. You've got to deliver value. But your mailing list, you can give more content. On your blog, you can, blog and all that. But people want to be notified. So people get it. Okay, I'll tell you, people get very distracted. And you see the streams where you have 10,000 followers on Twitter, you have on Facebook, and you're posting, they all cannot see your post at the same time.
Right.
And you need at least 7 times to put something in front of your connection so they can see it. That's where you have retargeting, repositioning, all those big words. You need to keep putting it onto their faces so that they can see it. So you use mailing list to email them. You might email at 10 a.m. and they haven't seen it. They might be on Facebook while your email is coming and everyone is signed up to a lot of things.
Which is what happened to us this morning.
Exactly. And then they look into their email box and there's too many emails. And they just go delete, because they haven't read it.
Right.
So there are times you promote an event or a product and you've been promoting for a week and you think that everyone's seen what you're promoting and somebody says, oh, I never knew. And you meet them on a networking event and they say, oh, I just finished my lunch on so and so. Oh, really? But I follow you on Facebook and I didn't see it. And you're wondering, you were spending, you posted and pushed it a lot on Facebook and nobody saw it. So you have to use every platform. So I say to my clients, you need to use all the platforms, email list and all the social media platforms, use them.
That's great. I agree. Yeah.
Exactly. What Jay is saying is, if you're talking about yourself all the time, people will delete you. Yeah. So it's got to be value. Of course, as a business person, we're talking about positioning yourself as an expert. And if you're positioning yourself as an expert, you have to give value. You've got to teach. You have to educate. So I was in an interview yesterday and I talked about the 3 M's of marketing. We're talking about how to market with a budget. And you can market with a budget as a business owner. You don't have to go spending big money. You've got all the social media platforms. They're all tools to help you in your marketing. They're all tools. The email software, they're all tools to help you grow your business. So you choose the tools that are going to be relevant in growing the particular business that you're doing. If you're in the fashion business, you may want to focus on, or skincare business, you may want to focus on Pinterest and Instagram. So you look for the tools that are most relevant to the business that you are doing and the service you're providing. So I talked about the 3 M's, which is your message, what you're trying to deliver, what is the message you're trying to share with the world, with your audience. You need to think about your market. Who are your ideal markets? And then once you've identified your market, your message, your market, then you think about the medium or the media in which you're going to share that message. And of course, in choosing your message, it breaks down. Your markets may be women, but are they single women? Are they married women? Are they educated women? Are they non-educated women? Are they CEOs? Are they, what are they? So you need to classify who your market is and really be specific to the very detail.
Yes.
It's called a customer avatar. You create that customer avatar to the specific her age, how much she earns. You need to create that. So by the time you identify who your market is, then you have the media. You'll be able to know where she hangs out.
Right.
Does she hang out on Facebook? Does she hang out on LinkedIn? Does she hang out on Instagram? Does she hang out on Twitter? Is she on Periscope? Is she on Blab? Because Blab is new. So you need to find out where this client or customer is hanging out. And then you'll be able to put your message before them through, of course, marketing tools are a lot. Through marketing positioning, maybe your blog post, your article. You need to use all that, which are the mediums to send your service to your clients, to help them. And remember, your service is a solution to their need. Yeah? So your service is a solution to their need.
Right,
to
exactly.
Your customers, your customers' need. So what you're providing is a service which is a solution to the need. You have to educate them. And in the show yesterday, I talked about the different groups of customers. So some customers need your service, but they are not ready for your service at the time you're sharing it. So they will see it, they will read it, and they don't really know it. So for that group of customers, you need to educate them, you need to enlighten them. And you educate and enlighten them through your blog posts, through your articles, and that's where the email marketing comes in alongside with your social media. So social media, you have posts, and you have all these posts, but articles are really, really important. If you write good quality articles, people will read them, they will share them. So you need to educate and enlighten them and get them ready for when they need that service. Yeah. And then there's a group who are ready to receive your service. But even in that group, there's lots of shining objects around, causing them to be distracted.
Yes, there are. Yes, there are.
That's why they said that you need at least to put before them 7 times in different ways, and you need to use the different outlets, different tools or outlets to share your message to the ready market. Yeah? Yeah. And if you like what I'm saying, clap for us. Let us know that you're happy with what we're sharing. Thank you.
Yes,
thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so very much. Thank you.
And I think too, because this is something that disappears in the midst of that, and you brought it to a great place, is identifying your message and so believing in your message that you don't feel like that you're being salesy or spammy, that you absolutely know without a shadow of a doubt that what you have to offer is important to your market, and to really give that in a powerful way. So you did this, you shared in the beginning as a coach, you had all of this information and all of this training, but nobody knew about it. So you had to be able to tell people, I can do this for you. So no matter what your messages or where your market is or what your favorite media is, being convinced that what you have to offer is incredibly important to those people has to come through in whatever you're doing. And if you do that the right way, then just like you said, everything begins to work around that. You're calling to you the people that you are meant to serve and meant to help and meant to work with, and then they want to come on into your email list. They're going to be on your Twitter list and share things, and now they have a little heart, to love your tweet. So they're gonna love your tweet, or they're gonna share your post, or they're gonna
let me give myself some more lights. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it seems like it's disappearing. Didn't it look like she was disappearing? Hi, is that Joanne or Joan? Hi, we're glad you're here. And thanks for sharing the love with us. So I want to ask you this question, because now we've got a clear message, and we have a clear target market, or as some would say, our avatar. We know exactly who we want to speak with, and we know where they are living, where they're spending their time. So this is what every person who's in business really wants to do. Now, we can get all holy about this and say, oh, it's not, it's just about the service. But, we want to make a little bit of money, Placida. So how do we monetize our business then? What do we do?
Okay, so how do you monetize your business? This is a very interesting topic.
There's a lot of different ways, I know. So, give us your take on that, because some people would say, "Oh, you need to only do XYZ," or "Oh, you only need to do ebooks," or "Oh, you need to have a course," or "You need to do whatever." So, how do we do that?
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to be sharing about, so if you're a coach or a consultant, so this will be applicable to you. If you're in any other business, from what I'm saying, I want you to begin to think about how you can monetize your business. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
one of the first things as a coach, as a consultant, as a mentor, and if you're a self-employed person, is to create products. I think Jay said he didn't have a product or service. Create a product and a service. And a product and service will come from what you already know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's in your hand. And there's a scripture in the Bible where the priest came to the widow, and she said, "Oh, I don't have anything to offer you. There's nothing in my house."
Right.
And the priest said, "Do you have," she said, "Oh, except oil, one jar of oil or something like that." Can't remember the
Yeah.
exact. Yeah,
It
one
was.
jar of oil.
Yep. A
And
little flour and a
he,
little oil.
exactly. And then he said, "Go and borrow some empty jars." And
Mm-hmm.
she went and borrowed some empty jars and she brought them in. And he prayed over the one jar of oil and they used it instead to fill up the empty jars, and
Yes.
all the empty jars filled up.
Yes.
Now, the message or the story from that story is that you have something already to offer and you can multiply what you have already. It's already in your hands.
Yes.
And your life experience is a product.
Yes.
There are people who need to hear your story to transform their life. It's like I went through a divorce. I got married. That's another show altogether. That particular story of my life is another show altogether. But when I was going through that pain, it was a pain that I didn't know how to manage. And I didn't know why God would allow me go through that pain. Because as far as I was concerned, I was a faithful daughter. And I
Mm-hmm.
served him really well. So why would he not allow me to be happy? But when I became a coach and mentor and I started to work with women, I knew where I went through that experience,
Yeah.
because I had the experience and the knowledge to coach and mentor and support women when they're telling me about their own experience. I can feel it and know where they're coming from.
Yeah.
And today, I look at my life. I had a bit of love there, and I'm really happy. I don't know. It's not good. It's not good to say it's good you had a divorce or something like that. But I'm somehow,
Right.
now when I look back, I'm like, oh my God, thank God it happened. But when it was happening,
Yes.
I hated God. Basically, I was like, why would you allow it to happen to me? And even though I was a committed Christian and I would go to church, I couldn't pray to Him, because I was
Mm-hmm.
upset with Him for allowing me to go through that pain. Because as far as I was concerned, I was a good girl. I served Him well, and why would He not let me be happy? So your life experience is a product, and there
Yes.
are people who want to hear and who want to learn from you to find out how you use that situation in your life to become who you are today and how you solve the problem. Your education is a product. So if you're gone to school and you're an excellent mathematician or you're very good at writing, you can write articles. There are people who are really good at just picking a topic and they can expand it and they can write. That's a product. So whatever it is that in your hand, look into your house first
Mm-hmm.
and look
Good.
into yourself first and say, what do I have that I can give, that I can share? And maybe you start by creating a blog post and you start writing your story and you start writing whatever it is that you have. People will identify with you and people would say, your clients, your audience would help you create that product.
Yes.
They would ask you, when can you create something we can pay you? You know, I was watching a Periscope 2 days ago, and this lady had a mug, a very nice mug, a bit like mine, but it had like a nice, lovely quote on it. And somebody on the Periscope said, "Are you selling that mug? Do you have it?" You know, are you selling that mug? Do you have it in your store to sell?
Oh,
and
my
she said,
God.
"Oh, no, I don't. But I bought it here. You can buy it from so and so place."
Yeah.
But basically, if your audience love you, if your audience like what you're sending out online, they would request the product.
Yes.
They will bring to you their problems, and they'll say, "Do you know, Placida, someone came to me and said she wanted to get her book known. And I worked with her for 3 months, and I got her into becoming a bestseller in 3 categories on Amazon. She was a newbie, new blogger. So her testimonial is on my website somewhere. And I found her on Facebook. So her first message was, "Hi, Placida, I only just started blogging. I'm a medical doctor, and I was told that I write well and I should start blogging. But I would like to turn it into a business. Can you help me?" And I said, "Yes, I can." Then as we got coaching, she said, "I'm writing a book also." And I said, "Okay, don't share your book yet." And I told her the strategy, and I worked with her on the strategy and the plan to get her book on Amazon. But she got her book on Amazon on 3 categories, bestseller list on 3 categories. And it was in a short, she couldn't believe it.
Right.
You know, and she pulled such a crowd that she got speaking engagement. Was every other week she was speaking, she was on media, she was on paper, because of the publicity that she got.
Right.
Yeah. Then now she's written another book, and she's created a product. But where you create your product, where you create your audience by putting out the words out there on the social media, you know, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever it is you're using, your audience would come to you and say, "Do you know what? I would like to know more." And you can start by creating a little product. I mean, I know there's different school of thoughts here. Some school of thought will say, create a funnel where you start with little, free, a little amount, $9 or something, and then you increase it. Another school of thought, I know another lady who is like really big. She says, "I don't do $9. When you come to her, she just sells you her high-end products and program. And she says, "I'm filtering those who will give me stress." So when people pay you good money, there are people who would take action. They've got the money to pay, and they will take action. They won't give you stress. When you have lots, this is her own point of view. So she doesn't do $9. She doesn't do $9, $10. She's not interested in the crowd. You go to her, she said to you, "Do you know what? This is actually 90 minutes with her is $1,000. That is 90 minutes with her is $1,000. And after that, her minimum is 5,000K to work with her." And that's how she rolls. She doesn't do anything $9 or anything. Craft a product that instigates stress, maximize reward. Well, meet the need. And sometimes you can put a survey out to your list, to your audience, and say, "I am trying to create, you know, you've been connected with me for a long time, and I'm trying to create a product. This is what I have in mind. What do you think about it? What would you like included in it? My groceries have just arrived. Hold on, let me get the guy in. 1 minute."
Her groceries are here. Hey, how about that? We get to watch her get her groceries delivered. So, and there are a lot of people that use your email list for research. Absolutely. Absolutely. They're a great place to create research and to ask them the questions that are burning in their heart at that day. What's your biggest pain point, or what about what I have to teach is something that you would want to learn more about, or if I could help you with one particular stress point.
Oh, he's run again. Sorry.
She's a popular gal today, right? So to answer that, Jay, yes, absolutely. Your email list is a great place to do research and to kind of hone in and segment who is reading you for this kind of information, who's reading you for this other kind of information, so that you can even look about that. And she was talking about creating products and different schools of thoughts. One of the things that one
Sorry
course
about that.
creation, that's okay. One course creation educator teaches is that it takes, if you're going to create a good product, it takes just as much time to create a $90 product as it does to create a $4,000 product if you want to do it well. So you really have to decide where your market is and who you want to serve. Some people want the $9 and move them through, and some people say, "No way, I don't want to play that game."
Yeah.
You have to decide for yourself where your market is, where they'll start, and what you want to deliver and how you want to deliver that. There's a lot of great strategy points and information on both sides of that.
I want to take his permission to run downstairs. I live right up, you know, to let the guy in. So if someone would want to come in and continue chatting with Donna, I'm going to take less than 5 minutes, run down to let him in into the lift so that he can come up to where I live. I live right at the top. Yeah. I'll just run down and come back in. Yeah.
Okay. Does anybody want to hop into a seat?
Yeah, anybody wants to pop in and just take my place and then continue chatting so that Donna is not alone. And I'll be back in less than 5 minutes. Yeah? Thank you.
Thanks. If not, that's great. But if you have any questions, we can answer that. So happy, the Nappy Nomad. Okay, you have homemade art, and a man stopped by your booth and just marveled and gave you great accolades for 15 minutes but didn't purchase. You didn't try to close the sale because others that love your work immediately buy it. Should I try to close sales on those that seem on the fence? You have this segment of market. You have the people who are ready to buy right now. Then you have others, and Placida mentioned this, I think, before you were able to come in on the call. There are those who just need some more information. Maybe they really love what you do. Maybe they haven't budgeted for you that day. Being able to collect information and give them their information and give them more information about what you're doing, the value, the quality of that is always beneficial. So I think that sometimes people like to be, I don't know if convinced, because if you're always having to convince people, then sometimes our marketing message needs to be a little bit stronger. But some people like to be convinced. They like to be cajoled. It's up to you whether or not you decide you want to do that, if you want to spend the time in that space or not. And for those who want to do that, they're the ones who like to barter everything. Me, I'm just a gal. I just want to, tell me what the price is and tell me how to get it. So it just kind of depends on your market. Do you think you could have asked him to take a card of yours? Absolutely. Or leave his email address? Absolutely. Are you concerned about coming across in some way? In all of the trade shows that I used to do, and in times, networking events and all of that, I think it's always great to have an exchange of information. If you feel like that it's somebody who's really interested in what you're doing, maybe they just need a little more time with you, a little bit more of a connection, then it's an opportunity for you to get that information and have dialogue with him. So he took your information and left, and he wants a custom piece for his business. If you got his information, then you would be able to follow up with him and say, hey, just following up with our conversation about the artwork that I do. And then you can reconnect with them. It has to be kind of a terrific. So that's what I would do. I would make a new contact with him. He will see that you are a professional, that you're working on that you take your business seriously and you take him seriously. Perhaps what you had there was not large enough for his office space. Maybe he wants some extensive work. So it'd be really great for you to make that connection with him. Old adage, but it's true, is the fortune is made in the follow-up and the follow-through. Even Jay talking about working with influencers and connectors. If you don't have their information and they don't have your information where you can readily have information and dialogue, it can be a little tricky. And you say that you're building a new platform, and I understand that concept of building connection, and then you launch that platform, and
Sorry
then
about
people
that.
come, and then you have a large platform ready to go. So that's something that's in the marketplace too, and I understand that.
So sorry.
So I've answered these questions over here, and uh, he said what he wanted was a bit pricey for someone that didn't budget it. So see, you have an opportunity then to work with him and maybe work within his budget and help him to be able to purchase your works and create more buzz around what you do by working with him individually one-on-one and understanding exactly what he wants, and maybe there is something that you can help him, talk to him about that in his budget and how that will work for him. So having more conversation is a great way to go ahead and get that sale or go ahead and get that connection and upgrade that direction. Placida, you are so popular today, girl. People want you. Everybody wants you.
Do you know I do online shopping for my groceries? It just saves me time. So I've got my all my shopping saved in it, on the site. And when it's time for shopping, I just go and do the shopping, and they come and deliver at home. That's easier for me than going out. So, but there's someone now to help out. There's someone to help get him in.
Yeah, great. So before we finish up, I want people to be able to find you. And we've talked about you are everywhere on social media, but where is the best place to find you and connect with you so that people can learn more about what you do and maybe they can walk through the process of working with you individually one-on-one? Okay. How can they do that?
Yeah, so I hang out on LinkedIn. So I'm going to tell you my favorites. So it's LinkedIn, Instagram. I love Instagram. Twitter, Periscope, and Facebook. But I'm always on Facebook. Yeah. And I've got a group, on Facebook called Step Up. So if you type Placida Acheru, Step Up with Placida Acheru, you'd find the group and you can join that group. I've got another group on Facebook for just women. Yeah, Placida Acheru, yes. I have another group for women, just women in business, and that's the Unleashed Women's Network. If you type on Facebook, you would find the group and you can join it. But I'm on Facebook, I'm LinkedIn. If you are on LinkedIn and you request me as connection, you need to tell me you found me here. Right. Because there is a long waiting list. I don't say yes to everyone. Same thing as Facebook. I don't say yes to everyone. My connection fills up really fast, and Facebook has a limit of 5,000. And it always fills up, and I clean out and it fills up again. So I need to know that you met me on Blab, and then I would say yes to you. Okay. Instead of getting rejected by me or I'm not responding to you because I don't know you, join my group. You have full access to me and you have resources because I always share new tools and I'll do some videos and I'll share with you. So you get to learn and you have access to, direct access to me on my groups because I do that myself. I've got my PAs, but you would connect with me personally on my groups.
That's great. And that is one of the nice thing about groups is because you really don't have as many limits on that. And it is a great way to get that one-on-one connection. There's some great people that I've been able to connect with on groups that might not have been able to get into their limited list of friends on Facebook. So, and now have incredible connections with them. So that's so smart to do. So smart. So we have you on that they can find you pretty much by your name on any social media network, and then in your groups, Unleashed Women's Network. And just to make sure, and really, if you're here today and if you've liked what you've heard, please let people know that you're enjoying learning from Placida and that you're interested in this resource. I do this.
Let's tell the little bird, let's all click on that little bird and just tweet it now. If we can all do that.
Yeah, everybody tweet.
Thank you. Tweet. I've just done that.
Yep. And for more information about me, my name, of course, you can see it up there. It's Donna Woolam, and I'm at donnawoolam.com. and I work with female entrepreneurs. Oh, look, that screen is just going so slow. I love that. Slow motion. Female entrepreneurs to help open the door of possibilities for you. So if you have been looking for a way to either in your mindset or in your business and you find yourself stuck, I work with you in both of those areas to help you launch past those places that are slowing you down. And you can find me everywhere as well. I think even though I'm not as strong on Instagram as you are, Placida, I like that, but it's not my big deal. I really
I'll tell you an easy way to go on Instagram, how to do it, because when you're too busy, use your phone. I don't know what phone you use. Create your image on your phone, and there's some lovely apps on your phone. I use Swag. I just stay using Swag and Photofy or something like that. So there are lots of lovely apps you can use, and you connect your Dropbox to your mobile phone. So my Dropbox is connected to my mobile phone, and I download my pictures into my Dropbox and access. And it's sounding like a long story of connecting, but you access your photos from your Dropbox into the app you want to design. You put your quote on it, and you connect your Instagram to your mobile phone. And all you do is just share. And you can share from Instagram to Facebook and to Twitter all at the same time. Or, so you've done all that in one button, basically. Yeah?
I do that a lot.
Easy.
That's a great idea. That's a great tip. I do that with Pinterest and my Facebook page. They're connected. So whenever I post graphics on my Facebook page, they go to a special page on my Pinterest page, so that I'm able to connect that. I just need to hook up my Instagram. That's all I need to do.
Yes, Instagram is lovely. It's lovely if you're consistent, you know, and then when you start posting, try to study when people engage with you more.
Right.
And post then, so don't post all the time.
Right.
But when you do your first, try out posting a few times, and you see at what time people engage with you more. And then be specific, then post only during that time, that period.
That's so smart, so smart. And there's lots of ways to calculate that, but you've made that possible. You've told us that. Yep, that if this, then that. I love that app. It stitches them together great. You're right, Jay. That's what I use for my from posting from Facebook to Pinterest. And you can also, it has a recipe that you can connect so that it will download all of your new followers to a Google Drive as well. So on Twitter. So it keeps track of that for you and helps you keep track of that list that you don't want to lose, right? You don't want to lose. So do you have any last words of wisdom or encouragement that you want to leave with our group today before we hop off?
Yes, I do actually. And remember that the topic is about how to position yourself, and dominate your marketplace. And everyone's got different marketplace. Blogging is really important. Article writing is important. This is how you get found. You want to do these things, and it will help to position you in the search engines. So easing articles, it's a long one. I don't know if people still use it, but I still use easing articles because they've built, it's been there for a long time. And then if you put a post there, it just pulls you up into the search engine. Here is to more empowered, successful women. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jay. So articles really important, and you can be a guest blogger on websites. I got a message from a lady only yesterday, actually, on LinkedIn, saying, I'm just going to freelancing, and I'd like to write a blog on your post, on your website. In return for a recommendation, pay it forward. It was really nice, the way she wrote it. And I think I'm going to do more with her after I've given her a test blog and see what she does. So you can write, go as a text blogger on different posts. I just write to people and said, what, I'm in business, I would like to. People will say yes, especially if you write well, they need content. So you position yourself by writing articles, blogging, and if you can, do an interview, do a blog, do Periscope. Go on telesummits, organize a telesummit, or be featured on telesummits. If you're a bigger business, so this is for a small business, if you're a bigger business, you go to trade shows, find out what's going on in your industry and connect, visit trade shows, connect with people. I recently went to a trade show for ad tech. So it's a trade show for all the techie guys. And I was able to connect with a few people that I would want to share their service and product to my community. So I connected with them. And when you go to trade shows, you meet the founders.
Yes.
So you meet founders. It's not just anybody you meet founders. Yes. And I'll tell you my strategy for trade shows. If I'm not exhibiting and I'm just visiting, I go on the last day or on the first day. On the first day, they are very busy, so they may not listen to you. On the last day, they are calmer, the crowd is fewer, and if you go slightly before closing time, the founder is there to see how it all went.
Helping
because in the middle of the day, he's gone out, and left his team to be there. But towards the end, he's back again to see how it all went. So you meet the founders, and you can now negotiate with them directly. And so for me, I partnered with a few people, and we discussed partnership as a financial partnership. And they'll be coming to share on how their product can be used. And these are really good products. So you can do that with trade shows. You can offer to sponsor. So if you know that somebody is doing a networking event, like meetup.com is a good place to start if you want to spread your word. Go to meetup.com and meetup organizers. So I run a meetup group. Go to meetup.com and go to networks that are big, even if they are small, and said, I'd like to sponsor your next meetup. You may not have the money, but you may have a book. Maybe you've published a book, and you said, I would like to give my book, a copy of my book as a, your goodie bag or something, give it for free. Or I may want to pay £20 or $20 in support of your meetup. Can I come in and talk about my business for 2 minutes? Of course, they're not going to let you do 2 minutes. They're going to let you do 3, by the time you start.
Right.
And if you're good at talking, 15 minutes will go and they don't realize that 15 minutes is gone.
Right.
So use meetup.com, offer yourself as a sponsor for small businesses, do trade shows, go to trade shows to meet the influencers, or go to trade shows to exhibit if you have the money. You can even merge, so get a group of people, so your colleagues, and say 4 of you can combine and go to a trade show that will be beneficial to your business, and you guys can hire that stand and share your businesses. Yeah, so that's it's a very long tip, but that's my tip for you to position yourself in the marketplace, and then write a book, write ebooks, write books.
Right, yeah. right. Talk to people.
Right.
And get in front of people.
Do seminars, do radio shows.
And I want to just let people know too, as well, because I do regular interview shows. I have a radio show that I do, and I have a blog where I am always open. Hey, listen, I've been a beginner. I know what it's like. I know that people need to have an opportunity. So if you want a place to be interviewed, if you want a place to be able to submit a blog post, if you're interested in any of those, reach out to me, because, who knows? It could work out beautifully for us. So just reach out to me on Facebook or on Twitter, send me a message, or I've got a place over on my website where you can send me a message. Do that, because if you don't ask, you don't have. Isn't that
exactly
right?
Exactly.
And you never know who will say yes. And we're all just one step away from that person or that situation that can change everything for us in everything we do. You're one guy that hired you for coaching. You're one customer that hired you for coaching, took a chance on you out there on Gumroad, and launched your business because you were willing to take a chance and put yourself out there. You're one opportunity where you made sure that you connected with influencers. You went to a place where it expanded your vision of what was possible for you in business, changed everything for you, and now you get to change things for other people. So use your platform, as you've been listening today. I hope that what you would pick up from what Placida said is that you have something inside of you already to give. You have a message, you have a product, you have things to give. All it takes is just putting yourself out there, taking a chance, using those opportunities, and then get your message out there to your market, because somebody is waiting for you. You may feel like that what you have is small and insignificant, but it could transform the world for someone else. Your wisdom, your experience, your life is what people are wanting to know about. So reach out to them and let them connect with you. So come on over to my website, come on over to Placida's and meet with her and let us know that you heard us today and that it was of value today.
Yeah, and sorry, Donna, I also want to make the same offer that Donna's made. If you're a good writer and you'd like to blog, I'm happy to give you that opportunity. I've got a magazine called Inspiration for Women. So if you're women in business and you can write, we're happy to accept, send us editor. So just reach out to me and I would send you the details on how you can reach the editor of the magazine and you can be featured in it. It gives you a lot of publicity. We are good at I'm good at marketing. I do marketing in my sleep,
Well, I hope so, since you're the Dynamic Marketing Strategist. So you better be good. Better just like ooze out of you when you walk through, right?
You're blowing your trumpet, but if you don't blow your trumpet, who's going to blow it for you,
That is right. And there is a difference between being all like smarmy and bad self-promotion and that self-promotion which comes straight up out of, I've got something that will help you. And that's what you say. And that's what you have. You blow your trumpet and you're able to deliver on whatever you're blowing it. That's a good thing. That's super good. Thanks so much for being my guest today. I'm glad to make this happen. You guys you never know what goes on behind the scenes. And with our time difference and all of the wondrousness of Blab and time, and, it was a challenge, but here we are. We persevered through, which is the real life of an entrepreneur. You just keep pressing through. Thanks, Jay. Thanks, Nappy Nomad. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you
very much, everyone.
I look forward to collaborating with you again in the future. This is fun. We have to hear that other part of that story you didn't tell. So earlier, it's like a whole other story. So thanks, everybody.
I can talk and talk. 1 hour is not enough for me. I hope that you guys have got some value from this show today.
I hope so too. I know I have, and I appreciate your message and all that you've given us today. Thank you so much for giving of your time, and I hope that you enjoy your groceries that showed up.
I will. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye, everyone.